Hello everybody, my name is Leanna and welcome to the first Q&A video on this channel. So to celebrate 1 year on YouTube, I decided it would be a great idea to kind of do a quick Q&A so you guys get to know a little bit more about me on a personal level. And then we can sort of answer super common questions that a lot of you tend to comment on throughout the ASMR videos. So let me start with just a little bit about me. So as the channel name implies, Leanna the PA, I am a PA or a physician assistant that specializes in OBGYN. I graduated PA school in 2019 at the end, and then I got my first job working in OBGYN in about November of 2019. I started working for a few months and I sort of, found out over time that a big passion of mine was the educational component in healthcare, and so I decided to branch on Instagram, then TikTok, and then eventually YouTube to just, help empower patients that they can advocate for themselves and just better understand their reproductive health. And so that is sort of how we landed where we are. The reason I started on YouTube is because I was first connected with the ASMR community via TikTok, and because of the time restriction, the ASMR videos, weren't long enough, and so I was then brought on here, and I am so thankful, so grateful for what this channel has become, for what our family has grown into. Every one of you is so kind, supportive. We essentially teach each other. So even as a healthcare professional, I am learning more and more each day, especially from the patient perspective of all of you, from the comments. And so I think it's great sort of bridging the gaps between healthcare professionals and then patients, and then sort of, unifying and understanding that we are all human. And at the end of the day, we are all patients in our own way. Anyway, enough of my babbling. Let's get to your questions. And I just want to apologize in advance. Other than the OBGYN ASMR videos you all have seen, I'm not really experienced in editing or doing Q&As and making them look all fancy. So bear with me. We are in this together. But a lot of people ask specifically what my journey was to becoming a PA. And so I do want to preface this by saying it was more of a non-traditional pathway, meaning that when I was a senior in high school, I looked into the PA profession and sort of, fell in love with the idea. And so what I did was I looked into programs around schools near me and saw that one of the schools offered a 5-year accelerated PA program that seniors in high school could apply to. They only took 15 a year at that particular time. And so I applied to that program, although it took a lot of work and repeated ACTs. But I eventually applied to that program, went through an interview, went through an essay, keep in mind as a senior in high school. And then I was so blessed to get in as one of the 15 upcoming freshmen. So the way that looked for me is my classes and my schedules in undergrad were essentially picked out for me. There wasn't really much flexibility. And so I did a 3-year undergraduate degree in biology, and then I did a 2-year master's degree of PA studies. Now, for people who aren't in my situation, who are maybe already in undergrad and interested in becoming a PA, they would get their undergraduate degree in whatever you choose, whatever you're passionate about. And then as long as you hit certain prerequisites, you can apply to PA programs in the area. And for some of those master's programs, they are 2 years, and other programs, they are part-time 3 years. So it's whatever your preference. And we can, of course, go into that more about becoming a PA if you guys are interested. It's just that because of the path I took, I just feel like majority of people can't necessarily relate to it unless they are high schoolers and looking to do that fast track PA program. So that sort of is a little bit about my journey. Now, one thing about being a PA is, unlike a doctor, when you graduate PA school, one thing to make note is you can apply to any specialty you want. So I just happened to choose OBGYN as my specialty of choosing, and I was blessed to find a job there. But when you graduate PA school, you can go into internal medicine, dermatology, emergency medicine. It's not like a physician in that way where you go to school specifically within that. Although there are residencies that exist, it was just not something I did personally. Someone asked, how did I start doing ASMR? Now, ASMR videos was something I was already familiar with on like the YouTube platform, but the way I got into it on here actually, which is kind of an embarrassing / funny story, is when I was filming my first point of view TikTok videos, I was extremely embarrassed to be talking in front of a camera, and I didn't want my coworkers here to be talking to myself after clinic hours, and so I ended up doing a very soft-spoken whispering tone, probably because I felt just super awkward. But what ended up happening is that ended up attracting the ASMR community on TikTok, and they were like, oh my gosh, like your voice is perfect for this, like you should do more of these, it helps with my medical anxiety and PTSD and all of that. And I was like, I'm honored that you think so. I would absolutely love to do that for you. And that is how that all started. And what's crazy to me now, though, is it just makes so much sense, because a lot of, you know, medical trauma or medical anxiety is found within reproductive health and like visiting an OBGYN. So the two ended up working out together so perfectly. The next comment we have here, question I should say, I'm sorry, from Marianne is, how do you plan and film your videos? If I schedule them out, and that sort of thing. And so what I do is I essentially will pick a topic, whether it's a pregnancy topic or a gynecological topic, and then I'll sort of have like an outline in my head, like, okay, Lee, the medical assistant, is going to do vital signs, is going to do this, going to do that. And then you are going to educate people on this and then do this sort of physical exam. As far as like the dialogue to the videos, I sort of wing it. And I think that's one of the cool things about being a healthcare professional and doing these videos, is it's kind of like a script that you already know. And so I'm just kind of doing what comes second nature to me. Whereas I feel like some ASMR artists, when they do medical role plays but aren't in healthcare, it's more studying when it may or may not actually apply in real life. So there's pluses and minuses to being or working as a healthcare professional and doing YouTube videos on the side, which I may get into. Another really popular question I've seen on multiple videos is, how are you filming at work, or do your coworkers know that you film? And yes, they do. What I usually do, because I'm super like OCD and anxious about, you know, things and what like a video will collect, is I will always film either right before, right after work, or when I know that no one is actively working and that there are no patients in the clinic. I may film at lunch depending on the circumstance, but all of them know that I film, all of them know that it's ASMR, and so they're all very supportive. The physician I work for, I actually teach her a little bit about the social media stuff so that she can kind of implement her work on there in her education. So yeah, that's basically what I do. I will either do it before or after my work shift. All my coworkers know about it. It's kind of hard not to know about it, and they are all very supportive and they love it, and I love them. So this Q&A might be a little bit short, and I apologize for that. It's because I made the mistake of doing this right before I had to literally be somewhere. But another person asked if I was married. I am married. I've been married for a few years. I do not have any children. You know, not something I'm rushing on by any means, and you know, maybe something I might plan for, you know, on at least trying for in the future, but not for me right now. However, I do have a new fur baby, to which I will show you guys him at the end of the video. His name is Rowan. But with that being said, I'm sorry if this was so short. I'm gonna cut it here, but I wanted to take the time first and foremost to thank you all for being with me for some of you for a whole year on YouTube. I appreciate all of you so much. I know with only posting once a week, it can be super kind of hard, you know, continuing to follow and support someone whose number one priority isn't necessarily on YouTube. But I am seriously so grateful for all of you who have stuck by with me, for all of you who joined me on Instagram and who joined me on TikTok. I am so appreciative of that. I just love and appreciate all of you. I read majority, if not all of your comments under my videos. So please know that when I like that comment, I'm seeing you and I appreciate you. And you have all just been so supportive of when I do take my breaks as far as like my mental health goes, because the thing is, when you work full-time as a healthcare professional, balancing that and being on social media can be a lot, especially when you're trying to balance multiple platforms. So again, I am so appreciative of all of you. I hope 2023 brings us so much growth and so much happiness, and I hope it brings all of you so much health and happiness with whatever may be going on in your lives right now. So just know that I am virtually here for you. Virtual hug. Love you all. And let me go grab Rowan before this video ends, so give me a second. Alrighty, this is Rowan. Rowan just turned 4 months today. He's my sweet little baby. But yes, that will be the end of this short Q&A. If you all want more Q&As, please let me know, because I really enjoy making them. And what else do people say? If you could like, subscribe for more content coming, and we appreciate you. Bye.